Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Game 1 in a Best of 3 series. Oh my god, it's another one with incredible miracle NesTea. He is the light blue Zerg up in the top right of Shakuras Plateau, and the challenger this time, not going to be Braddock, it is actually going to be coL.Naniwa, and my computer was just like taking a burp or something. I'm not sure what that was. That almost never happens. But anyway, coL.Naniwa is the green Protoss down in the bottom left corner. It's a best of 3 series being played from Blizzcon. I've listened to the unruly mob that is the internet, and they have been screaming, "We want more NesTea." Actually, that was really unenthused. It was like, "We want more NesTea, god dang it, right now, Josh." And I was like, okay. So here we go. We're going to cast some more NesTea games. Naniwa already dropping a pylon on the low ground. What are you going to do with that pylon? Are you going to build a forge? Are you going to build a forge and a nexus? NesTea, what do you think about this? What are you going to do in response to that? You're going to build an extractor, you're going to cancel it, and you're going to get some minerals back, and you're going to go to 11/10 supply instead of that 9 overlord, so you can make one more tiny little drone. But that's okay, you love drones. You are the drone master. Actually, I believe if there was an election of some sort, you would become the president of every single drone in StarCraft 2. But Naniwa is going to scout the incorrect direction first. That's okay. Sometimes I stumble a little bit. It's okay. Not perfect. Perfect is actually a player on Team Rain. He is not me. So Naniwa is actually going to scout the correct direction now, the cross position here, and soon discover this slimy light blue Zerg menace from across the pond. It is IM.NesTea. And actually Naniwa, I guess it's not across the pond for him, since he's normally in Sweden, and he's actually living in South Korea. I guess he's actually sort of a neighbor, and not across the pond. Across the pond is typically more of a North America across to Europe sort of thing, or even North America over to Korea, but Naniwa doesn't fit either of those criteria, so forget I ever said anything, even though I harped on it for a very long time. Nexus going up first before the Forge. No assimilators, of course. That's Forge Fast Expand. Is he going to be dropping a pylon over here to try and be super annoying with some cannons and stuff? I would hope he doesn't, because NesTea probably has some of the best control in the entire freaking world, and trying to cannon rush him would be like trying to shoot a moving target, like a very, very fast moving target that is difficult to shoot. That's what it would be like. Naniwa circling around now with his probe, trying to be as annoying as possible, preventing that hatchery from going down, but he's NesTea, so he just drops a hatchery whenever he feels like it. The moment he gets 300 minerals, he's going to drop that hatchery. Naniwa going to try and escape with his probe's life. Now the trick to escaping with a probe while being chased by Zerglings with no Zergling speed is to actually only click one time. If you click multiple times, it actually does register a frame or two of lag. See, now this probe is as good as dead, but he may actually be able to get some additional scouting information out of it. But anyway, if you're sending your probe back, don't want to issue 100 commands to run back to the base. You send one command, and that's going to ensure that the Zergling gets the minimum amount of hits on you. He's still going to hit you, because he's slightly faster. But if you're registering a bunch of commands, it's actually going to slow your probe down a frame at a time, or maybe even 2 frames at a time. Not exactly sure, but every command you issue does have that tiny little millisecond of lag, and will allow that Zergling to catch you a little bit faster. That's science. I don't know if you knew that. That's actually not too incredibly common knowledge there. Pros know it, but now I'm sharing it with you. So again, if you want to save your probe's life, don't do what Naniwa just did, because it just died. coL.Naniwa just joined not too long ago, shortly after the fallout with Stefano going back to Millennium. Naniwa was announced like a week later, or a couple days later actually, so if they had gotten Stefano and Naniwa, they'd be some kind of incredible super European team with 2 of the best players in all of Europe, but Naniwa is the only one who ended up getting scooped up there. He performed pretty well at Blizzcon, obviously, and he's playing against IM.NesTea right now. Naniwa is going to be performing at MLG Providence, and there's rumors that NesTea is going to be going to MLG Providence, but there's also rumors that he might not go to MLG Providence, so we're going to have to wait and see on that. I would not be surprised either way, as NesTea really likes to protect his reputation. If there's a chance that he's going to go to a tournament and lose, he just won't go. GSTL doesn't like being used in GSTL, stuff like that, so he wants to be the best, and he wants to be put in situations where it's easy to be the best. GSL Code S is just a great, great tournament. The only person he's lost to in recent memory is MVP. his friend and teammate. He lost to him and GSL Code S August in a pretty good series. I believe it was a 5-game, I want to say it was a 5-game series, went all the way in a best of 5. But here we go, Naniwa is actually going to make it home with his probe this time. Zergling speed still has not been accomplished here by IM.NesTea. He's not even started that upgrade. He doesn't even care, he's just got a ton of gas. Now he hits 100 and has not started metabolic boost just yet, so I'm wondering if he's got some other things in mind. With that gas, perhaps a lair? Nope, finally Zergling speed started. He was a little bit mineral blocked because he likes building hatcheries. He likes building overlords, he likes building queens, and he likes building drones. How much does he like building drones? So much that he has 47 against Naniwa's 39, and Naniwa has had 2 nexuses of chrono boost to work with. Even though he's got 81 energy on this nexus and 26 on this one, he has been using the chrono boost to get some probes out. He's building 3 more gateways right now. That is going to put him up to a total of 4, as he has this one on the low ground, and a single robotics facility is already complete, making an immortal. Did he already get that observer out? Haven't really been paying attention. No observer, going straight for the immortal, so Naniwa is fearing the roach a little bit, even though he only has 7 in production right now. No big deal. Evolution chamber about to sprout open. We'll see which upgrade he goes for first. He actually doesn't have the money to start either of them. He is building so many roaches right now. 11 roaches about to pop out from 3 separate hatcheries. Hiding his overlords off to the right side of the map, probably going to be a good idea, or actually just hanging them out between the natural and the main. That's going to be the hardest part for Naniwa to try to get in and destroy. Lots of sentries being warped in for Naniwa, so that's a good choice there. Force fields obviously can have a lot of impact on that early game. And first immortal is out, just waddling away. Oh no, actually second immortal. So Naniwa is deciding to go ahead and move. Don't want to forget that second immortal. There he goes, tagging up the rear there. And ooh, a single Zergling gets absolutely annihilated. I'm not sure if NesTea actually saw what was coming there, but he does have quite a few roaches. These 2 immortals are going to have a lot of work to do, and of these sentries, of course, with Guardian Shield and Force Fields, are going to be able to defend their pack of Zealots and Immortals. This is going to be a very interesting unit composition here for Naniwa. He's warping in 3 more Zealots up back at home. I don't think he has a really forward pylon anywhere. No, he's just warping them in his main on the low ground there. 2 more gateways being added on, 2 more pylons, just sticking to heavy gateway. And the probe actually is going to build a pylon here while the Immortals try and do their dirty work here. He's already got 7 kills. Among those Immortals, the sentries are going to have to try and take care of those Zerglings so the Immortals can blast down these roaches as effectively as possible. One Immortal does get pinned. He's going to go down with only 5 kills. The other one with 7 kills, also getting pinned by those Zerglings, but the sentries are in a very good spot to be able to take out those Zerglings if only a sentry is on the surface area instead of that immortal. He's got 9 kills, 10 kills. He is being chewed to tiny little pieces. Oh, force field's not enough to salvage this army from Naniwa, and NesTea taking a giant supply lead already in this game. Gonna put him up by about 40 supply. Oh my goodness, that's about 50% more than Naniwa even has on the field, actually more than 50% more. And NesTea is also gonna throw up 2 more hatcheries as a sort of victory celebration. One is gonna be base number 4, and the other is gonna be a macro hatch just outside of his natural. What did that evolution chamber actually do? It's getting +1 melee attacks for these many lings that he continues to build, and 12 more drones coming out. He's already at 75. That's gonna put him at 87 drones. It's so many. NesTea totally out expanding Naniwa. He's not going to have a chance to actually take a 3rd base anytime soon, because now, after losing that first fighting force, he's going to be pinned inside his base. Lots of lings here running up the ramp of roaches. Would be a little bit more successful if not for this cannon and these sentries on the low ground here, taking them out with some nice force field action. NesTea still up by 41 supply back at home, getting up a Spire now, as well as more roaches and lings. However, he can spare his minerals. Look at that, he's about to hit actually 1,000 minerals already after winning 2 decisive battles, actually 1 decisive battle and a little bit of a counterattack, but there he goes, getting that spending going. 22 lings, glial reconstitution, and probably going to be another evolution chamber upgrade immediately when that first one finishes. Spire will be up soon, so he can save all this gas for a big flock of mutas. He's already got enough gas for 12 mutalisks. Of course, that mineral income is so much higher than gas, he should be able to afford it by the time the Spire finishes. Upgrades for Naniwa include ground weapons level 2 and blink from a Twilight Council. 8 more roaches on the way. Glial reconstitution is going to be a big one. Naniwa may actually arrive with this force before that gets finished. Spire is now done. 12 roaches in production. The Spire finishes. Okay, it wasn't actually done. I lied. The spine crawler pushed it over to the side, and I thought it was finished. 99, 100. Yay! So he has 1,300 gas, not 1,300 minerals. He built another wave of roaches because he was worried that Naniwa was going to try and break down his door. He has not built any mutas yet, just flyer attacks level 1. Ling's trying to run in, baiting some force fields. Actually a slick move. He actually did bait a couple of force fields there that were not too effective. Naniwa still dropping pylons along the way so he can reinforce with his how many gateways? He's got 5 up on the top, 1 on the low ground. He's making this his bastion of hope here, and NesTea actually going for a massive counterattack. Look at all those Lings and Roaches headed over to Naniwa's base. NesTea's just going to sack one of his bases, let these Stalkers blink forward, pull all his drones, let the Spinecrawlers do the fighting. He had over 80 Harvesters when this fight started, so the counterattack is going to be super effective. We'll go ahead and put that in the picture-in-picture while Naniwa tries to blast through here. A wave of 17 Mutalisks are actually on the way. It looks like the Zealots are going to be able to take out that hatch eventually, but these Mutas are going to be very, very tough for Naniwa to deal with. Actually, it looks like it may even turn into a base trade situation. Naniwa moving up into the natural now. He's going to be able to take out this macro hatch without any problems here. And NesTea is actually going to return home from that base trade scenario, so he is actually going to try and pin Naniwa inside of his natural. The mutas are getting popped one at a time. He needs to be careful about that. Force fields go on the ramp. Oh no, so all these Roaches and Lings trying to return home and help are at the mercy of these sentries and their energy. There's still enough for a couple more force fields. Naniwa refreshing them now. All the Roaches and Lings helpless to get up there and help. 146 supply for Naniwa, 154 for NesTea. Oh my goodness, NesTea actually losing a lot here, about to lose his 3rd hatchery in this assault. I'm not sure what he was actually able to kill back at Naniwa's base. It looks like he did break down that front a little bit, but force fields and cannons prevented him from getting too much work done. Naniwa now at the mercy of these Lings and Roaches. These sentries have run out of energy. No, he's got enough energy still for more force fields. There he does, a big string of force fields. He did let in some Roaches and Zerglings and this huge flock of Mutalisks still with lots and lots of health. If they take out all these Stalkers, of course the sentries and Immortal will fall very quickly after that. Naniwa with 1/1 upgrades here. Never did get that +2 weapon finish. It looked like the Forge was actually taken out back at home, and Naniwa's forces continually dwindling now. 90 supply. He's remaxing or trying to get back up to that supply very quickly here with a round of 6 Stalkers, but NesTea still has 20 more supply than Naniwa. Even though he lost 3 hatcheries, he still has 3 working for him, and Naniwa is actually going to lose these Zealots to Queen and a couple of Zerglings. So the pylons are going to be taken out by NesTea from these last few Lings. There's an observer floating around, so he knows that NesTea is on the move. Once again, he's looking for this hatch down here. Of course, he is certainly going to find it with a Queen and everything. 2 Queens, actually. And NesTea going for the counterattack. How many Mutalisks does he have here? He's got 13 of them flying around. A little bit of Zergling action still left on the ground, and a pack of 13 Roaches also on the way. Mutas providing vision on the high ground. And of course they're flying units, so they're easily going to be able to take out that pylon. Here's another pylon. It's a freebie. Just 3 volleys, maybe even 4 from this muta will destroy the pylon. NesTea actually massing up in this 3rd base area. No base up there to kill, so he's just going to use it as his staging area, a little bit of a rally point here. 4 more mutas in production. Hatcheries being rebuilt here at the natural. Surprised he's not rebuilding more places, but he has been spending very efficiently on units so far through this game. He's down to only 45 drones. That's actually a big part of that exchange. He's going to need to go ahead and build a lot more drones to be able to continue into this game. Naniwa has been unable to expand this whole time because of NesTea's awesome defense and consequential harassment tactics here with this big pack of mutas. 1 cannon goes down, a couple of probes caught in the crossfire. Big blink forward by Naniwa, going to kill one of those Mutalisks. 1 is not enough though. More mutas being created all the time. 7 more drones. He's just perpetually making more drones. Soon he's going to pass Naniwa once again on that worker count, and NesTea still has a large force of Lings and Roaches here at the top. He could potentially do a flank here, continue cranking out units for the front, let Naniwa get a little bit far forward, and then he could come in with the counterattack or even the backside of that army and try to kill them off. Mutalisks still flying around, the numbers growing ever so much. He's at 18 Mutalisks, soon to be joined by another 6 here. Wow, it's going to be 24 Mutalisks, 25 with this little stray off to the top right. And units just getting picked off by these mutas. Naniwa does a big blink forward once again. Not going to be able to catch those Mutalisks. 3 more in production. No more drones right now. Back to army production. +2 flyer attacks on the way. Naniwa sitting at 1-1. Did he lose that Twilight Council? I don't think he did. No, there it is. So he could actually continue with those Forge upgrades. He's got a little bit of money to spare right now. He's going to have to be working on those gateway cooldowns to be able to get that army value up, close to NesTea's value. And here we go. Naniwa pushing forward once again. This is a pretty formidable force. This is a lot of gateway units. And if these 4 sentries actually do Guardian Shield and Force Fields effectively, they will be able to soak a lot of the damage here. We'll go ahead and highlight all these Mutalisks and watch how quickly they fall. I can also hold up the health bars there and see the Stalkers are actually all in relatively good shape. NesTea really needs to win this battle, but the force field's on the low ground, preventing so many roaches from being able to fire. The Zealots actually get trapped behind the Stalkers. They get taken out by the roaches on the low ground, but this actually looks like NesTea has it still in hand here with this home turf advantage. He's got Spinecrawlers still attacking everything, roaches and mutas popping out to help out, 20 Zerglings on the way, and NesTea once again 40 supply above. Naniwa, actually, Complexity Naniwa keeps nearly catching up and then doing that big attack, and it's just not enough. He needs better upgrades or something, but these 2-0 flyers, 0-0 roaches, and the lings themselves are actually at 2-0 upgrades as well. Just a little bit too much for Naniwa to be able to handle. He's trying to max out once again. He's going to need a third base if he's going to try and compete with NesTea, who is still on 3. This one's been uninterrupted mining all game long. He's got 47 harvesters against 51. He realizes he's got a little bit of breathing room. Once again, going to build another wave of drones here, and Naniwa getting impatient. Instead of expanding, he is going to continue to move with these Stalkers, Zealots, and a couple of sentries once again. No probe came along during that last attack to drop pylons along the way, so he's going to have to do that again this time around. 5 more Mutalisks in production for NesTea, 3 more Stalkers on the way for Naniwa. Let's see. I don't really see how NesTea, or excuse me, how Naniwa is actually going to be able to continue with this attack. Actually, he's bringing a lot of probes along for the ride to try and soak some damage. Here we go. He's getting himself into an interesting position here. A couple of roaches do slip through, and there's a queen on the backside taking some free jabs at these Stalkers. They really have pretty much nowhere to blink to, and GG, before Naniwa even loses the last of the army, he realizes he's way far behind, 81 supply behind, in fact, and he's down 15 harvesters because he brought all those probes along, and they basically disintegrated against these mutas and roaches. So game 1 will go to IM.NesTea. Naniwa has some work to do if he's going to come back in this best of 3 series from BlizzCon 2011.